As promised, today I'm going to show you my method of making the most delicious cinnamon rolls at home. And we're going to top that with cream cheese frosting and roasted pecans. So the first thing you want to do is to use softened or melted butter. And to that you want to add 2 room temperature eggs and a whisk to combine. Once we have combined that, it's time to gradually add in our milk while whisking. You can use any mixer to do this if you have one, but if you don't have a mixer, feel free to use my method. Now we're going to go in with a bit of essence, and we're also going to mix that in. Next, we're going to move on to our dry ingredients. So to my flour, I'm going to add in some nutmeg powder and salt. Yes, nutmeg powder or grated nutmeg. I'm also putting in some sugar and some yeast. Now it's time to mix that well so that everything can be well amalgamated in there. And now we're going to add in the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients to create a dough. I'm using a spatula to mix it up, but of course I'm going to go in now with my hands. But first I'm going to flour my work surface, place it out there, and I'm going to knead it for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes, I'm going to place it into a container and I'm going to leave it to raise for about an hour or until it doubles in size. But while that is raising, it's time for us to make the filling for inside of the cinnamon roll. So I'm using some melted butter once again, and I'm going to place in some essence inside there, and we're going to mix it up. I know it's not going to look as if it has been combined, and that's okay. It's going to spread really well onto the flour paste, so don't worry. And I'm using some sugar and cinnamon powder, and we're going to mix that up together. Once we have mixed all of that, we're going to set it aside and move to the next step, which is to place that filling inside of the dough. So as you can see, my dough has risen nicely, and now I'm going to flour my surface and we're going to open out that dough. Now you can use either a billner to open it out, or you can use your hands just like I did. Now that our dough is opened well in a triangular shape, I'm using that same butter mixture that we made before with the essence, and we're going to place that there before putting in our cinnamon and sugar mixture. That butter would help our cinnamon and sugar to stay in place. Now we're going to work from one end and we're going to pull and tuck until we have a roll that looks like this. Don't be alarmed if one side look larger than the other. That's quite okay. Then we're going to use our knife and we're going to cut it in slices like this, and to a grease tray we're going to place it. We're going to allow this to raise again for half an hour, and then we're going to allow it to bake at 400 degrees for like 15 minutes. While that is baking, we're going to prepare the cream cheese filling, which is just cream cheese, powdered sugar, butter, which is optional, and our essence. And you want to add that sugar gradually because it can create lumps. Now I'm just going to place some salt into my pecans and I'm going to roast it and set it aside. Now that my cinnamon rolls are out, they have spread nicely, and it's time to top it with that cream cheese frosting we made earlier, and we want to do that while it's still hot. Then we're going to place up our roasted pecans on top of it. Allow this to cool, then feel free to cut you into the most delicious cinnamon roll that you have ever tasted.